Teacher, I put Panther now in.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Talk today about the beginning of the lesson when you had the kids create some background knowledge before they started to read about the panther. What was that about?
Yeah, we were reading a second grade writing sample and the title was My Hungry Panther. And most of my students are English language learners, and I asked them if they knew what a panther was, and only a couple raised their hands. So that was a perfect opportunity for us to look up and find a picture of a panther with our iPads. And so I just open-ended asked if someone could find a panther, and they went to a couple different sites. Some of them went to the dictionary first, and they found that had the definition of panther, but it didn't have a picture. So they wanted to go further. They found the images button, and then they found pictures, and so within a few minutes they had found multiple pictures of a panther, and they were all getting on. And so I think by the end of it, they all had a really good concept of what a panther looks like, and that it's a big cat and it's a wild animal.
Talk about the exercise with Edu-Creation.
Edu-Creations we use a lot for our thinking maps and organizing our information, mainly our information having to do with the standards, like spelling patterns, cause and effect relationships, comparing and contrasting ideas. And we use the thinking maps a lot, but now with the iPad, the kids can create their thinking maps with color and and practice skills of typing and graphic imagery. And it's just a lot more fun for them to do their thinking maps and organize their learning that way. So we compared a real panther to the fantasy panther that was in our story, and we found some similarities between the two, and then the differences that we found in the story. And they color-coded it, and they worked on typing skills and all kinds of things like that. It went well.
How has the iPad changed teaching and learning in your classroom?
I think the number one thing is the students are very engaged in their learning. I think the iPad really empowers them to feel like they can learn things on their own. They can find out answers to questions on their own. They don't always have to ask me or wait to until I cover that topic to find out about something. It's a lot more instantaneous. You can find out answers, and it also makes our learning a little more spontaneous. Like things come up that we can follow an idea, and it's just really exciting. It's more exciting to me, and I think to the kids, that you have this at your fingertips, and anything you have a question about that maybe even I don't know the answer to, we can all figure it out together pretty instantaneously.
And you just got your iPad this year. How long did it take you to figure out how you could use it in your classroom?
I went to the week-long training, and that was a good start to just get a basic knowledge of how it functions, the iPad. But it took about, I'd say like 2-3 weeks of having them in the classroom and just adding I had one language arts app and I had one math app for everyone. And that was pretty much what we worked with for a while, because I didn't want to be overwhelmed with like a bunch of new apps. I just wanted I picked Scribble Press for language arts that they could explore when they had Meidu time and universal access time, and then I had Sushi Monster for math. And that just kind of gave us a little beginning with 2 apps in 2 different subjects to kind of just get the logistics down of how it's going to look for everyone on the same app, everyone practicing. And I just wanted to get a feel for that, what that would look like in the classroom. So I would say 2 to 3 weeks with just 2 apps or 3 apps. I just added them one by one. And then now they have like several apps on theirs, and we regularly use I'd say about 10 applications that we use all the time now, throughout the day.
And what would you, for a teacher who was just starting out with the app in the classroom and a class set, what kind of advice would you give for that teacher at the very beginning of the year when they just started out?
Kind of what I told you. I would say, just be patient, and think of it more as a learning experience. And if you ever get overwhelmed with maybe like technical glitches or something, that it's not something you just call the tech line. They've been really great. I've called the tech line whenever I've had a difficulty. I've called the tech line and I've got it worked out online. They hook into my computers, and that's really been great, because there have been sometimes difficulty with connectivity, or someone they locked their computer and they put the wrong passwords. My kids got ahead of me on that one. They knew how to do the passwords, and I didn't know that, so they all have these passwords. And we had to go back and say, no passwords. Everyone has to have access to your computer. So that was a learning experience. But when someone had their password and then they entered it wrong, or they didn't remember it, their computer locked, and the techs will take care of that as soon as something like that happens. And we're still learning. We just got our MacBook Pros, so we're going to learn how to configure all the iPads. That's all going to be new. But I would just say to just relax and enjoy it. Try to look at it as something that's going to help you to make your teaching easier and more fun and more exciting. And that's what I've found. There are things here and there that are frustrating, but they've all been overcome pretty easily and pretty quickly. And for the most part, I'm just really excited and happy with implementing this pilot program. And I think it's going to really impact the students' learning this year and in the future.